Yes, welcome back, everybody, to the Train Effective podcast. Fun fact: I actually just did like a minute recording, but my mic was off the whole time, so we're starting again. Happy Sunday, everybody! By now, you've probably played your weekend matches, most of you, and definitely by the time you listen to this, you'll have played your weekend matches and everything. Hope everything is well. Hope you're doing well. I'm Hashir, your host, your community manager, and yeah, haven't spoke to you guys in like a week, which is in my eyes always too long, but it is what it is. Um, and yeah, just to get right into it today, we're going to be talking about, as the title states, 7 things you control that are in your control that you can use to start improving today. And the basic premise and kind of the background for this podcast is actually, as footballers, you guys were always, first of all, we're always judging ourselves a lot because we're thinking about what we can improve, what we can do better, how our matches went, what our coaches think of us, what our teammates think of us, all these things. um and my problem with that is it's not always, it's very subjective football, right? Like one coach might think you're not the best, the other coach might think you're amazing. And sometimes we focus a lot on the outside world, on external factors. Today, in this podcast, I want to speak about these 7 things that are fully in your control that you can start implementing right now, that you can start altering or shifting, or maybe you already do some of these things. You can do them to a better quality and start improving right away. So, with that being said, we're just going to get right into it. Number one, this might be an overlooked one for many of you, but it is your diet. So, diet, nutrition, what you're eating, what you're putting into your body, what you're consuming. And there's a big thing among professional athletes, especially nowadays, as like we get more information on this on food science and sports science as well. A lot of top athletes invest in personal chefs and have very custom meals and all this stuff to make sure they're recovering properly and getting the right fuel. I live in America. I'm based in America, so here a lot of NFL athletes are documented to have that. A lot of NBA athletes as well. Um, People like Russell Wilson, who's an NFL quarterback. He's won a Super Bowl before. He's known to, I think, invest like $1 million annually or something like that. That I've read supposedly $1 million or so in recovery, rehab, and food, nutrition, diet as well. $1 million, and obviously, you guys don't have to go that crazy. That's on a much larger scale. They have much more income to be able to do that. But for me, if you're still growing, you're still young, all these things, you might have to be your own personal chef and personal doctor and all these things because you don't have those resources, and that's okay. A lot of people have to do that. Most people do that. Most people do have to do that. So my thing with diet and nutrition is I'm not an expert on diet and nutrition. I'll say that off the bat. I've made mistakes in the past as well, and I probably still make mistakes sometimes. But I think there are some general guidelines for footballers that you can follow, and those are obviously all over the place on YouTube, on Google. Just make sure they're credible sources. Um, you obviously want to stay away from unhealthy food. You want to eat healthy food. You want to eat less processed foods, so less stuff like, I don't know, Pop Tarts, chips, crisps, that type of stuff. You want to avoid if you can. Um, After workouts, after matches, you want to you want to eat protein. If you cannot eat the protein, you can drink protein in the form of shakes, this and that. So all those things. There's a lot of information out there, guys, on diet for footballers and nutrition for footballers. So that's number one, your diet. Number two, this is an obvious one, and one that I probably don't have to tell you all, which is your training, your individual training. There's actually nobody stopping you from doing your individual training unless your parents or somebody is really strict and does not want you doing that or doesn't want you out at certain times or whatever the case might be. However, individual training is fully in your control. You pick what you're going to do for training. You pick how long you're going to go train for. You pick when you're going to go train. You pick like the intensity of your training sessions. All this stuff is actually down to you. It's in your control. And I think my opinion is you should be maximizing this in terms of focus. What I mean by that is really understand what you do need to do in your training sessions. So don't just go and take 100 free kicks in that, like if you're not even going to be taking free kicks in the match. I always say, like, focus on your weaknesses, focus on match like exercises and workouts. That's why I always preach the Train Effective app and the workouts on there. Yes, some of the stuff on there is to just build technique, but a lot of the stuff on there is also match like exercises and workouts that you can do. And then what you'll find is once you're in the match, these situations won't be new to you. You'll be used to these situations, and ideally you'll have been training at match speed anyways. So when the match comes, going full pace, going full speed isn't a problem. It's not an issue. It's normal. It's second nature to you. So individual training, guys, definitely in your control and something you can start implementing right away. And yeah, number 3, the third thing of the 7 things that are in your control you can start implementing right away is your sleep and recovery. Now this kind of ties back into number 1, which was your diet and nutrition. Sleep and recovery is really important. Yeah, it's just bottom line. Our body needs rest. Our body needs to recover. Even I mean, for the people that are trying to lose weight, even when you're sleeping, your body is burning calories. Your body is always working, essentially. But my thing is, for all you maybe teenagers and stuff, if you're going to sleep at 3 a.m., waking up at 7 a.m. to go to school, and then you have training in the evening, you might be really tired. You might be really exhausted and fatigued. Your body hasn't recovered from the night before, from the day before. Sleep and recovery is really important. Um, and again, you don't have to go crazy on, like, you don't have to go crazy in terms of tracking your sleep hours and stuff. You can do, it's beneficial, but a good rule of thumb is to just find out how much your body naturally needs to sleep. Start from there, and then you can get more complicated if you want and more complex if you want, which is can be a good thing. But if you're younger, just focus on how much do you actually need to sleep. Most of you know how many hours of sleep you need per night. If you're younger, it's probably less, little less. If you're a little bit older, it's a little more. It's between that 6 to 9 hour range, around there, somewhere in there for most of you. So just see what works for you. If you sleep 6 hours a night, you wake up and you're tired, you probably need to sleep more. If you're sleeping 7.5 hours or 8 hours, you wake up, you feel refreshed, energized, that might be your sweet spot. So that's another thing to focus on: sleep and recovery. The fourth thing, this is a big one. I always preach this. Your mindset, guys. Your mindset. Your mindset is so important. Yeah. And what I mean by mindset, a bit of a broad term. Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? Yeah. Are you glass half full or are you glass half empty? This is just mind-blowingly important in my eyes, because when a lot of times in your career, even right now, not just in football and life, guys, you're gonna have situations that aren't gonna be ideal. Yeah, you're gonna have, I don't know, maybe you get cut from a team, maybe you get benched, but you're like, I'm the best player, I'm one of the best players. Why I got benched? Your mindset in those times of like friction is so important, because maybe you do get benched, and maybe your mindset might be, you know what, I'm never gonna start again. What's the point of even training? I'm just gonna wait until a new coach takes over this team, and then I'll start, and then I'll play, and then I'll train. Or you can be like, okay, let me work with my coach, let me work on myself, and let's see what I can do to break back into this team. The person that's starting, what does he or she have that I do not have? What are they doing that I'm not doing to be starting? Sometimes you might actually need to speak to your coach. Yeah, speak to your coach and see what it is that you're lacking, because don't care what anybody says, but at the end of the day, your coach is going to make those decisions on the team. Yeah, he is going to make those decisions, he or she, whether they're female or male, doesn't matter. They're going to make those decisions. They have the most influence most of the time. So that's number 4, your mindset. Now, number 5, this is also another big one. And give me 1 second, guys. The questions you ask yourself. So this is more of a psychological thing. And this you might see in your day-to-day. And just shout out to the comments. Mentality is everything. Spotify listeners, I'm recording live on YouTube, so we always have comments from amazing people like Leon, Fadil, and Louise. Shout out to you guys. keep hustling. The questions you ask yourself, this is big because what are the questions you guys ask yourself? I'm actually curious because say you wake up and you feel, I don't know, really tired, really exhausted. You don't want to get out of bed. It might not even be like a 4 a.m. It might be like 7 a.m. and you just don't want to train. It's the only time you can train in the day because you have school later. Is the question you ask yourself, do I have to train today? Do I have to train today? Is that the question you ask yourself? Is the question you ask yourself, can I just train tomorrow? Can't I just train tomorrow? And your mind is going to tell you, yes, you can train tomorrow. Of course you can. Our mind isn't dumb, guys. Or the other question you could ask yourself could be something like, will I get better if I train today? Your mind's going to tell you yes. And then in that moment, you're going to be more, that word, motivated and driven to train. It's a simple reframe, guys. A reframe is kind of reframing the situation means changing your perspective. And if you can change your perspective in these times, in these crunch moments where you're making decisions, it can be really important. So ask yourself better quality questions. Number 6. Wow, this is an important one. This is an important one for all age groups, for everything, not even in football, just in life in general. Your friends, your circle. And this is your immediate circle. Who are you hanging out with? Who do you chill with? Who do you spend time with, hang out with? Guys, there's a really old and common saying that you are like the average of the 5 people you spend your time around the most. Um, and I mean, I do believe in that statement because if you think about it, if you're always hanging around pessimistic people who are always going to be like, "Ah, you can't do this, you can't do that, you weren't born to do this, you weren't born to that, you're not made to do this, you're not made to do that." This is gonna wear on you. You don't want these statements, these things wearing on you. You don't want all these people constantly. It's called the poison drip. You don't want all these people constantly pulling you down. You don't want that. What you want is, bro, listen, you had a tough game, but I believe in you. You trained so much, you got this. Yeah, I believe in you. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. Aren't statements like those so much more? Don't they make you feel so much better? If I tell you, Jack, say whoever's listening right now, I want you to listen to me closely. Jack or Ashley, whoever you might be. Listen, I'm proud of you. I know you've had a rough week, but I'm proud of you. Keep training, keep grinding. Look at all the progress you've made. Look at all the progress you've made, and you're only getting better. You're only getting better. Every day you're getting 1% better. 1% better. Think about how much better you'll be in 1 year. Just keep going, keep grinding. I'm here for you. I believe in you. I believe in you. It's just a matter of time. How do you feel when you hear those words, guys? How do you feel when you hear those words? You feel encouraged. You feel good. You feel empowered. You might even feel like you want to go train now. I feel like I want to go train. I'm gonna go put on that kit over there and go like. You feel good. Versus. Listen, man. This might just not. This might just not. This just might not be for you. This just might not be for you. You know, I think it's I think you should just do something normal with your life. Like it's so dumb taking all these risks and going around playing soccer and training when you could be spending time with us, hanging out, playing video games, all this stuff. It's so much fun. We always order food. It's so much fun. Don't you want to do that instead? Now, when I say that statement, guys, you probably feel a bit of that poison drip that I always say. Yeah, poison drip. You feel kind of brought down. You're like, you might even feel a little bit disgusted depending on where your mentality is. So again, choose your friends wisely. Choose the people around you. Make sure you're aware of who's around you, who you're surrounding yourself with. It rubs off. It really does. You want people who are pushing you up, elevating you, helping you. Yeah, highly motivated. All this stuff. You want those type of people around you. And you know what? If you don't have that around you, I'll be that around you. Yeah? Send me a DM on Instagram. My link, the thing is in the description below. I'll be that around you because I think having that strong circle around you is so valuable, guys. So valuable. Okay. Last one, number 7. And this is for all the people that always ask, how do I get scouted? This and that. your outreach, and your marketability. Now, what I mean by this, guys, your outreach and marketability is, um, if you're an excellent player, if you're really good, yeah, if you're really good, but nobody knows that you exist, then that statement persists. Nobody knows you exist, and hence nobody can really discover you. You cannot get scouted if you do not put yourself in front of prospects, in essence. Yeah. I had a really good example and story I'll tell you. I have a friend. He's Dutch, and he absolutely driven to get scouted, make it pro, the whole 9 yards. And what happened was we had this Nick, Trade Effective. Nick, what he did a long time ago was he made this document that had like over 300 emails from different clubs like across Europe. And some of the emails were like the staff secretary or whatever, and it was just amazing. There weren't like the massive like big clubs that you hear about. Most of the clubs you guys might not have heard about. But I sent it to one of my Dutch friends, and he emailed every single club on that list. Some of the emails were outdated, but a couple of them, like some of them were outdated, most of them weren't, and only a couple of them replied. I think one of them replied. It was, I think it was a club in Sweden in the second division or something like that, which is actually a decent level, um, considering the first division in Sweden. Some of the clubs I think play in the Champions League or something, and Europa League. But one of the clubs replied, and they sent him like a detailed email. They were like, Darren, my friend's name is Darren. He was like, the guy that replied to me was like, Darren, I'm so sorry, we don't actually have like any spots in our squad right now. We're not accepting new players at the moment. We appreciate you sending your video, because he included a video, a good quality video, and CV of where he's played. They were like, we don't like, we appreciate you sending the video. And then they wrote a whole separate paragraph. They were like, it's really refreshing to see a player who's so driven and ambitious find our email and contact us. This skill will take you far, and it's just a matter of time before you get signed. Something along those lines, he said. And it just goes to show, you might get a 999 no's, guys. It might take 999. It might take 1,000 no's, yeah? But you just need one yes, yeah? You might just need one yes. And to be fair, if Darren persisted and contacted that club again, I don't know if he ever did. If he contacted that club again, they might have, in the summer maybe, they might have invited him to a trial, yeah? Because this was like during the season. Maybe if he contacts them again, replies to that same email, maybe they contact him. Who knows? Who knows? That could have happened. And yeah, so my thing is your outreach and all these things, CV, creating a video, all these things are in your control. And we have a comment from Nekdet Kaskarli. You guys realize there are thousands and thousands of academy players that are far better than you guys. Nobody is going to sign a random kid with mediocre skill off the street. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting comment. And what we also, Nekdet, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. What you also might not realize is thousands and thousands of academy players get released all the time, and thousands and thousands of people give up and stop pursuing professional football probably every day. And again, that attitude right there, I'm not trying to call you out or give you like throw shots or anything, but with that mentality, nobody is going to achieve anything. If my mentality every day is there are thousands and thousands of players better than me, I'm never going to make it, then I'm like for sure not going to make it. And I've solidified that in my mind. But if I can imagine, if I can in my mind paint the picture that, you know what, there are lots of players that are better than me, but I'm getting better each day. My job is to get 1% better each day and make myself marketable, put myself in front of scouts and stuff. It doesn't even have to be like open trials or all these things, guys. It can just be send your email to send videos and stuff to clubs. Go rock up to clubs. Go to the actual club. You can do these things. Nick did it. Our friend Brandao, you guys know who Brandao is. Brandao's done that. He was on the podcast, and he literally said, you can go to clubs and just ask to train. There are methods. Methods. It's just about how far you're willing to go. As far as the no one is going to sign a random kid with mediocre skill off the street goes, I agree with the mediocre skill part. But if you're good enough, you're good enough. I'll give you guys a really good example, and you might have heard the story of Jay Demerit, who played in the U.S. men's national team. Played for Watford, I'm pretty sure, in the Premier League. All these things. Has played at the World Cup. He was a random kid off the street. He moved to England with one of his college teammates, and he trained and trained and trained. Started at a lower league, low division. Watford coach liked him and his teammate, Kieran. Went on trial there. One thing leads to another. There's injuries. He gets to step in, plays well, has been preparing his whole life, and boom, he's in. Now, what are the chances of that happening? Low. Yeah, not everyone's gonna be able to. Everyone is gonna be able to do that, but you guys see more and more these days stories like him, stories like Jamie Vardy, and these things do happen. So you can go about it two ways. You can go about it with a defeatist attitude of everyone's better than me and I'm not good enough. I'm not going to make it. Or you can go at it with the attitude of, you know what? I'm going to get 1% better each day. I'm going to give it my all. And at the end of the day, if I don't, quote unquote, make it, I gave it my all and I won't live with regret. Yeah. So it's two mentalities, Nick, that hope that helps you, bro. And listen, if you ever need any help on your own journey, just shoot me a DM or shoot Train Effective a DM, and we'll be sure to help you out. And yeah, guys, I think that's all 7. So remember, your diet, your training, your sleep and recovery, your mindset, the questions you ask yourself, your circle, and your outreach. These things are in your control, guys. Yeah, utilize them. Utilize them and take them, man. Take them and run with them. I know you guys can do these things. It's just about discipline, not about motivation. It's about discipline. So with that being said, everybody, if you want to join our Discord, it's in the description below for Spotify and YouTube. Make sure to follow TikTok, Train Effective on TikTok down below. We have like 1.6 million or something crazy like that of you on there. Appreciate each and every one of you that contribute to that, as well as our Instagram. My Instagram is down there below as well if you ever have any training questions and tips. Guys, everything for the comment people, everything's in the description. Just go down there and you can contact me and us. With that being said, everyone, have a great week ahead. Take care of your mental and stay effective.